Barbarians is a 1987 action-adventure film from director Ruggero Deodato. The movie opens with the canon seal of quality. I miss those days. Here we see the aftermath of the World Cup finals. A voiceover and some aggressive editing explains the backstory. Way back in time when sword and sorcery was still a thing, the world was in constant battle. That is, except for the traveling band of hippies, the Ragnicks. They came about because the king of the world traded a mountain of gold for a magic ruby, which contained the power of music, laughter, and human kindness. The king of the world needed these things, so the Ragnicks became the world's entertainers. This traveling Renaissance festival adopted 3 kids, 2 boys, Kuchek and Gore, and a girl named Kara. Shouldn't they wait for the caravan to stop before giving them tattoos? Emo Phillips! The Ragnicks have been entertaining for decades, and now Queen Canary is the guardian of the ruby. Just then, up on a hill are some rejects from the Masters of the Universe movie. The entertainers fight back against the bad guys and seem to be doing a pretty good job. Okay, why does this peaceful caravan of jesters have a ballista? When Canary sees things going south, she gives the ruby to her assistant.
Here, you know where to hide it.
In my anus? He takes the ruby in his fluffy bath mat to hide away from the bad guys. Emo uses his crystal ball as a crystal bomb, which takes out 2 more of the baddies.
Just call me Mr. Butterfingers.
How does he eat with a face like that? Wow, these guys did pretty good. They fought off all the mercenaries and oh no. What was the point of the other ambush if they were just gonna stop him here? Canary gets out to show him who's boss and then gets conked in the noggin. Ow! This magic helmet is just golden tinfoil with stuff glued to it. This is Kadar. He's evil! Oh, we have fun. He taunts the group for a bit and eventually stabs one of them. Kuchek and Gore attack Kadar, biting off 2 of his fingers. Canary swears loyalty to Kadar, as long as he doesn't kill the kids. So Kadar makes an oath that I'm sure he won't manipulate like a monkey's paw.
As long as I live, these 2 will never die by my hand or by the hands of my men.
That night they return to Detroit with Canary, the orphans, and most of the women. This right here is every 80s heavy metal video. Back in the main chamber, here's the world's most overly elaborate throne. This just feels like a way to show that he's an extreme jerk. In walks the sorceress China and her associate, the Dirt Master. Years later, they'll name a vacuum cleaner after him. From now on, I'm just going to refer to her as the sorceress because if I say the name they gave her in the movie, it's probably going to get this video flagged. She proceeds to deliver some high-tier overacting.
These fingers must be burnt, and the ashes scattered.
The sorceress burns the fingers and throws the ashes at the kids, then does a strong display of jazz hands. This coats the kids in silly string. The Dirt Master separates the 2 and trains them to be gladiators. Every day they're beaten by guys wearing black and gold helmets. They were being trained to hate whoever wore those helmets. Years later, they're oiled up and lifting heavy things. For the ladies. And some of the men. Kadar likes to surround himself with women with very flat butts. Canary in a cage. Oh, this movie. It's just a bit on the nose. He tries to win over Canary with bling, but she has no interest.
Why do you do this to me?
What a wicked game you play, to make me feel this way. Come on, dear, back in your cage. Kuchek and Gore get suited up for battle. They of course don't know they'll be fighting each other and not whoever was torturing them. Interesting that even though they grew up apart, they still developed the exact same physique. Hey, they trimmed that stuff off this guy's face. The 2 get into battle in the smallest arena ever. The Hallway of Doom! The 2 fight for a while and... yeah, he kinda deserved that. The 2 take off their masks and aren't too bright.
Gore! You bloody idiot! It's me! Kuchek, your brother!
They see Canary is still alive, so they immediately figure out a way to escape so they can save her. Security around here stinks! The duo ride past the floating Snake Mountain and head into the woods where they hide. While there, they run into Ismene, who says something that these 2 have heard many times.
Look at the size of you 2.
She asks them to set her free, and they walk away. They conveniently find the old caravan ruins. Gore then describes every military first-person shooter.
No music? No colors? Nothing.
The remaining Ragniks confront the Barbarians. They become cruel after years of hiding in the woods without music. I don't know, I think it's a pretty fair trade-off if it prevents Post Malone. They try to explain who they are, but get trapped and ready to be hanged. How come these guys aged, but nobody else did? The one brother is hoisted off the ground and is too muscly for the rope. The other one just breaks the tree. These are two gigantic doofuses, aren't they? The Ragniks see they have the mark of the open road, which means they are who they say. They could have checked that first. I guess the wardrobe budget ran out because these two are just wearing bikinis. They tell the leader they need to rescue Canary.
It's no use.
Oh no! Every time I hear that I get flashbacks.
It's no use!
Ismene tells them she can help them find weapons, so off they go on an adventure. They head to the Bucket of Blood Tavern where the locals are enjoying live entertainment. Wait a minute. Are things like music and art lost because the ruby's hidden? They go to meet Jocko about weapons. George Eastman? This is about a year after Hands of Steel. He's gonna challenge them to an arm wrestling match, isn't he? I knew it! The two go at it and come on, Gore! Over the top! This, of course, starts a bar brawl. Geez, these two even need weapons? Ismene found a way to sneak into the castle. She takes them to a place where they have to move this giant styrofoam rock. They head into the harem and find Canary. She tells them where the ruby's hidden. They need to get it and return it to the Beatniks. Of course, it's hidden in Lime Tree, the Forbidden Land, the most dangerous place ever, guarded by a dragon called Gravemaker. They need to go to the tomb of the ancient king to get the magic weapons to fight the dragon and recover the stone. They're just filming someone's D&D campaign, aren't they? On the way out, the duo gets pleasantly attacked by the harem. Oh, great. Now I know what it sounds like when Gore nuts. The next day, the trio heads out to find the tomb of the ancient king. Meanwhile, Canary gets a whipping. Kadar is not too happy the sorceress beat his prize, so he's going after her to see that she can't get the ruby. They pass through a waterfall and into the wasteland where they run into, furries. Inside the tomb, they find the weapons they need. Good thing, because then they get attacked by arms! How can you not like these two dorks? Over at Lime Tree, the sorceress and Dirt Master are searching for the ruby. How long does it take to do her hair? She tries to take it, but just sets off the burglar alarm. Kadar's sitting on the throne. The dragon shows up and eats the two. They head to Lime Tree and fight the swamp creatures. They then fight off Kadar's two top soldiers. Then, they fight off the giant penis dragon. Did I say fight off? I meant cheese the dragon.
We get in the hole. When it moves over the top, we kill it.
They really did this. Once it's dead, they climb up inside and find the sorceress dead with the ruby. They get back to the entrance and Gore tries to hump the water. They send Ismene with the ruby back to the tribe. Canary tries some mind tricks on Kadar, so he stabs her. Since Canary's dead, the ruby turns to stone. Ismene drops it, and it turns back into a ruby, meaning they can pick a new ruler.
Hurry! Bring all the virgins!
About those virgins. The barbarians find Canary and fight off some bad guys. They bring forth the only two virgins, and if the ruby fits in their belly button, they can become the queen. Nope. Ebar wants to see if the ruby fits Ismene. I'm starting to think this is just his fetish.
Hold her still and uncover her belly.
It fits, so she's the new queen! Sure is a good thing she didn't have an outie. She tells him she's really Kara, the other orphan from the beginning of the movie. The two barbarians fight Kadar in the final battle. He goes to shoot him with his crossbow, but seriously? He forgot he's missing fingers? So the two impale him. Now with the curse lifted, they happily ride off into the sunset. The movie was shot mostly in Italy in 1986 for the Cannon Group during the Golden Globus years. After the success of Conan the Barbarian in 1982, many companies made their own sword and sorcery or sword and sandal films. Cannon made Hercules 1 and 2 with Lou Ferrigno, which were fairly successful. They wanted to make their own Barbarian movie to appeal to the European film market. The twin brothers Peter and David Paul were famous bodybuilders. They were pursuing acting careers and had small parts in DC Cab and The Flamingo Kid. With their over-the-top personas, the Cannon Group thought they'd be the right choice to front a new franchise. They called the movie The Barbarians, and the brothers quickly became known as the Barbarian Brothers. The movie cost around $3 to $4 million and had a 10-week shoot. It did okay theatrically, but did much better on home video and cable. The movie was supposed to be directed by Yugoslavian director Slobodan Siljan, but he was fired by the producers after a few days. They then called in Italian director Ruggero Deodato to take over. Classic bad guy Richard Lynch played Kadar. He had just done another movie for Cannon before this, Invasion USA. Sheba Alihani played the Sorceress, although that wasn't her real name. She was modeling in Italy at the time, and they couldn't pronounce her real name, so she just made one up. Apparently they gave her acting lessons, but ended up dubbing her voice in post. This was her only film. Ava LaRue played Esmene/Kara, and this was her first movie. She'd go on to have a very good career in soap operas like All My Children, The Young and the Restless, and a long run on CSI Miami. She's won numerous awards, including a Daytime Emmy in 2020 for The Young and the Restless. The brothers did a few more films specifically made for them, like Think Big, Double Trouble, and Twin Sitters. Sadly, in March of 2020, David Paul died of unknown causes. All that was said was that he died in his sleep. He was 62. The Barbarians, like almost all of Cannon's films, is a blast. The Paul brothers are hilarious. Here's these two giants acting like complete goofballs. Apparently that's how they were in reality. Just big lummoxes that enjoyed practical jokes and having fun. I like that they went silly with it. If they tried to make the movie serious, it wouldn't have worked. Especially since these two were your leads. Honestly, they weren't the best actors, but who cares? This is a case of where they were hired specifically for their appearance. Kind of like Pamela Anderson on Baywatch. No one was watching her act. And these are two humongous bad-acting dolts that were having the time of their lives. You think while lifting weights in LA, they knew one day they'd be filming a movie in Italy? They were exactly what the movie needed, and I love them for it. Each one of their movies is an absolute treasure, and I look forward to talking about them all.
Stay where you are, fatty.
Fatty? Me? You. Fatty? Who you calling fatty, Moosehead?